And as you mentioned in your testimony, in some cases, existing tax credits have had the unintended consequences of creating market distortions that needlessly distress baseload clean assets like existing nuclear power. As we look to policy ideas focused on new generation, and you referenced the bill that Mr. Reed and I have put forth, the Energy Sector Innovation Credit, how should those policies be constructed to avoid these type of negative pricing events and consequences?
Absolutely. Well, if you take a look at what we've done with the wind production tax credit, which again has been very helpful in bringing down the cost and scaling up wind energy, the unwanted side effect is that we pay wind to generate regardless of whether the market wants that power or not. So an hour of wind generated in the middle of the night in the fall or the winter when energy prices are already very low, or in fact even zero, the wind energy still generates. And because of that, it causes people to bid into the wholesale markets at negative power prices. Then other generators, nuclear plants, for example, that are optimal just running all the time, are forced to actually have to pay for the privilege of staying on the grid. So in that instance, our tax policy has been sort of, incoherent from a climate perspective. We've paid one clean energy generating source, and we're causing another clean energy generating source to pay for the privilege of generating. So that is why we've got to get out of this market distorting policy. What I really appreciate about the proposal that you and Congressman Reed have put forward is you're proposing to pay out the credit not based on how much someone generates, but how much the market pays for that generation. So it's paid out as a percentage of what the market compensates. So if the market really desires the power and it wants it at $100 a megawatt hour, it would pay out at, for example, 60% of that or $60 a megawatt hour. If the market doesn't want the power and values it at $0 in that megawatt hour, the incentive would pay out at $0 in that megawatt hour. And I think that that's a much wiser way to do this and to direct resources working with markets as opposed to against them.